Hey everybody, I'm Giles and this is JDM World. A lot of people have asked to take a look at the tone mapping as well as Hdr settings in the Panasonic 820. So in this video we're going to take a look at the settings in the setup menu and then the specific settings in the tone mapping selection. So let's go ahead and move over to setup and we'll take a look and see what's in here that will be applicable to everyone. Just so everyone is aware, I'm running an Optoma UHD 65. So let's go into player settings. And the big one here is the HDMI settings. So I've got resolution set to auto. The 4K 60p output is going to try for 444. 24p output is auto. Auto, everything else is auto, but I have Dolby Vision and HDR 10 Plus on. My projector won't benefit a lot from those, but if you're using televisions or other items, you'll want to make sure those are set appropriately. Now, another biggie is hidden down here in advanced settings, and what you want to look at is the HDR TV type. And for me, since I'm running a projector, I've bumped that down to the projector setting. Now, if you've got some kind of awesome laser projector that's, that can do 1 billion nits and that kind of stuff, maybe you'll want to bump that up. But for folks with televisions, that OLED setting might be the right one for you. It just depends on what you've got going on. But for me, with a fairly kind of standard middle of the road projector, I'm going to go ahead and stick with basic luminance. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and fire up a Blu-ray, and I'm going to get us to a point where we can pop open the HDR tone mapping settings. As you can see, we've identified HDR. And this is a 4K Blu-ray. This is John Wick 2. If you haven't seen this one, it is pretty gorgeous. And let's stick it right there. All right, now on the remote control, there's a button titled HDR Setting, and it's just to the right of stop. And for most people, this is the only thing that you really need to worry about. This is going to let you change your settings on the fly, and I'm going to cycle through that now. So you click the button one time, and it's going to pop this up, and it says, after HDR setting, the settings that you made at dynamic range adjustments will be canceled. Are you sure you want to proceed with HDR settings? So if you've set custom HDR settings, this is going to kill those. And I'm going to go ahead and say yes to this now and show you what this does. So right now we're in the standard mode. If you push, left or right, let's push right, and that's going to take us to natural environment. And if you watch this picture, as I go to light environment and then bright environment, you're going to see this really make a difference in the amount of brightness you're getting out of the high dynamic range settings. And like I said, for most people, this is going to be all you really need to deal with. So pop in, your favorite high dynamic range Blu-ray and 4K and play this thing. And then as you watch it, just select the one that looks the best to you. And, if the brights just get too bright and it starts washing out or looking bad to you, that means you've gone a little too far and step it back. I watch usually in the standard, and sometimes I bump it up one. So usually I'm here, and sometimes I'll go up to natural. I've watched bright environment. It's a little too much for my projector to handle. But we'll leave this standard. But now, let's go ahead and hold down the HDR settings button. And that's going to take us to this screen. So the first item here is your Hdr Optimizer. And this is what will allow your Blu-ray player to use HDR10 metadata to automatically set what the picture is supposed to look like. So I've got that turned on, and for discs that have the correct metadata included, this player will look at that metadata. It's going to look and see what you have your screen type set to, and then it's going to tone map the whole thing out and make it look supposedly is as good as it can for your equipment. So this will make everything to work together automatically. You can turn that off if you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. Now, the other settings that you've got here are dynamic range adjustment, brightness, your white and black tone curves, and then your system gamma. And we'll just tweak these up and down so you can kind of see what's happening to the screen behind us. So as we move this up, it brightens things up even more. And then we go down, get start. It's almost like a brightness setting, although there is a setting called brightness immediately underneath this one. So we'll go down to brightness, and this will pump it up just a little bit, but not nearly as much as the range adjustment, right? And that range adjustment, from what I understand and what I've experienced, is that it increases the amount of range that the picture can go from dark to bright. So, if you think about an imaginary scale of 0 to 10, as you change this, maybe the range then goes -10 to 20. So it makes that range broader. And brightness just turns the brightness up and down inside of that. Then your tone curve for white, we'll experience this now. And in this particular image, it's making almost no difference at all as we go up and down in this one. There we go. Yeah, it's not doing a whole lot. So let's choose black here. Very, very subtle changes. You can see, if you see at the bottom of the steps, you can see that change a bit. And if we get this up too high, it really starts looking really bad. So at that point, at +11, it's pretty horrid under there. So we're going to move this back down. And it looks like at 0 is maybe +3 is the maximum we could get that up to before it starts looking bad. And then system gamma. And let's pump this up. And this seems okay. The darkers look a little bit better when I've got it pushed down. But if you look at the lady's clothes on the right-hand side, it's just one big black blank with that down too far. Let's go back up to this dynamic range adjustment. Pop into this guy. That really destroys the picture when you get it up that high. But, at +4, it's not too bad. And then with that at +4, let's turn the brightness up a little bit. So those are the tone map settings, and I think for the most part, the best way to use this, unless you really want to spend a lot of time, is to first set your screen type, whether it's projector or OLED, and that was under the system settings, not inside of the HDR adjustments. And then in HDR adjustments, make sure that the optimizer is turned on, and I would leave all these settings to 0. And then as you watch a movie, you can use those 4 mapped presets to pick the one that looks the best for that particular Blu-ray. So let's pop back out, and I'm going to go through those again. So HDR settings, and this will destroy or delete the specific settings that we had made for the HDR advanced settings, and then it brings us back to standard, natural, light, and bright. For me, standard or natural environment for my equipment mix has looked the best, and this also makes this really kind of a no-brainer feature to use. Thanks for spending some time with me tonight. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Also, check out the new Patreon that we've set up. If you want to support the channel, this is a great way to support and get access to monthly giveaways and other goodies available only to super supporters. Thanks, everybody.